Worship is really not so much about playing the right chords and the right notes and perhaps even singing the right note on the right bar. It's about a spirit, it's about a heart, it's about putting a thought into who Christ is, the price that was paid for me. My name is Joe Burcham. I was born in Kansas City, Missouri. I do wear several hats. I do fill in on the pulpit on occasion. We give Pastor Darius the opportunity to take a break, to be with family, to go do other ministry opportunities. We've done that a couple of times. True Life has given me the opportunity to be more vocal, to be more involved, to be more plugged in, if you will, to opportunities to share Christ, to share His commands, to share His love, to share that sort of thing in venues that I really wouldn't be able to do were it not for True Life Church.
The focus of True Life Church, it is to not stay in a little cloister of ourselves, but to expand and reach out and touch others' lives. It's not just about gathering together on a Sunday morning and then you leave. It's about being a family that really cares for one another. Nancy Swanson, I do the books for the church, the accounting, very basic, you know, pay the bills, do that kind of thing, and I love doing that because it's something I enjoy. Jack of all trades, master of none, but you know, I get the job done and that's good. You know, I have been very blessed in my life. I have had tragedies. I'm a widow. I've lost a husband that was my best friend. That, though, has opened up an area of my life that I have time in a different way than other people do. I have family here, but they don't require my constant interaction and whatever. I mean, it's always great when we do, and we are a very close family, but it's opened me up to be able to just interact with other people on a different level that some that have immediate family or a husband or a wife or, you know, that don't have the time. I want to be willing to be the hands and feet of Christ. I think that's why it's so important for me to be a part of True Life Church, is because they are giving me that opportunity. Last year we served at Thanksgiving, 1,200, maybe even a few more actually, at our Thanksgiving event and meal. And then at Christmas, True Life Church ministered to another, I want to say maybe 20 families. Honestly, it was pretty touching to take a card to a family whose mom and 4 children are standing there, and the one son who is 10, all he wanted for Christmas was a book that he could read. A book. You know, they want so little, and yet it means so much. Mapleton, it's been fun because we're in the school district. That's where we meet and have our church. But then we've done sports camps through them in June and July. And even though that's more something that, you know, Pastor Darius and coaches and some of the guys do, I've always had taken a couple days and run over it during my lunch and watch the kids, or I'll go there in the morning when it starts. The Hope Center in Adams 14 has been huge to give us access and help us to determine who needs help. I mean, even other churches that weren't a part of it, they came and helped serve. So it's not just easily writing a check and doing that, it's actually being actively involved in it because they care about community. True Life Church makes me feel so blessed. They make me feel excited about life and opportunities. I think I'm a more fulfilled person because of my interaction with the church, and I'm also challenged by them because some of the things we have done and plan on doing taking me way outside my comfort zone. But one of the things that I have committed to the Lord is I do not want to be stagnant in my faith. I don't want to be in a stagnant pond. I'd rather be in the rushing river, and I feel like that's what True Life Church does to me. They have me in that rushing river and challenge me to keep standing.
My name is Mary Ann Mosquera, and I am the Hope Family Resource Center Coordinator. Well, the Hope Center is a food and clothing bank, and we offer food, school supplies, clothing, diapers, hygiene stuff, sheets, bedding. We're open twice a week, Mondays and Wednesdays between the hours of 11 and 2. I see from 30 to 60 families. I provide them with everything and anything that I have. I do not hold back. I come from a large family, a family of 9, from a single mother. I was also homeless. I was a migrant worker, so we traveled to different states when I was young. Lived in a stable for a couple months with my mom and all my brothers and sisters. Lived in a car. So I know what it is to be homeless, and I know that with hard work, you can do something, and you don't have to become homeless, but it's challenging and it's very hard. Sometimes I do tell them that I've been in their shoes, and sometimes I don't. Once I say to them, I know what you're feeling, I know where you're coming from, because I was once there. They look at me like, you were? And I say, was. 2 years ago, Josiah Elfworth and Sandy Rivera from the high school asked me if I wanted to participate in a Christmas event that they were holding, that they wanted to work with homeless youth or youth in crisis. And I said, oh, I'm up for it. I'm up for it. Let's do it. So we called the students, invited them to come to this event. That's when I met Pastor D. First time I met Pastor D, and I saw him, I go, wow, he's huge. I go, he's an angel. And ever since then, I think True Life is my prayer, because they have been there for me from the beginning and have never, ever said no to me. I don't like to abuse their help, though, so I have to be very careful what I do and what I say and what I need. Commerce City doesn't have a lot of resources, and I can't send a family to Denver because they're not in their area, and these families don't have cars. They don't even have money for bus. A lot of them walk. A lot of them ask for rides. So this is one of the big central locations for a lot of families. So that's why they come here.
Sometimes in life you think you would be farther along than what you really are. And you don't necessarily see yourself in certain situations. I'm going to get married, I'm going to have kids, I'm going to, own a business, buy a house. I'm going to, we have it all mapped out. And sometimes in order to achieve what God has for us, He'll take us an alternate route, or an interesting route, nonetheless, to groom us and prepare us for what He does have for us. My name is Maxine Pryor. I was born in Jamaica, Kingston, Jamaica. When I moved from Texas, we had fled a domestic violence situation, and I ended up being unemployed for a total of 26 months. During that time, I started volunteering in the food bank ministry. Even my son would come in and assist also. And, I never thought that I would be on the receiving end of such a ministry, but, it happens. And so we were there as partakers, both volunteering to assist, and at the same time when we left, we had our bag or two of groceries that we so desperately needed. To be able to be surrounded by people of God who were encouraging and who would offer to assist. There was another gentleman, a coach, who allowed my son to be scholarship for a basketball program, which meant the world to him and really built up his confidence, having come from where we did. It's so many unspeakable things, things you can't really put into words.
My name is John DeYoung. I am 42 years old, and I teach film and I teach dance. Last spring, I found out where I actually was born. As far as the story goes, I was found on the steps of City Hall in Suwon, South Korea, which is 45 minutes south of Seoul, Korea, at about the age of 4.5. They don't really know. They did a dental test on me to find my age. A police officer had picked me up off the steps, because you're not allowed to stay on the steps. From there, I got transported up to Seoul, Korea, and Holt International took me in as an adoptable child. I do believe at the time that many children were being abandoned because, one, either the families could not feed them, or there was a lot of interracial children being born, and if you weren't purely South Korean, you typically were abandoned. So I was adopted when I was 6. I don't know my parents. I was adopted into a very good Dutch family, very good Christian Dutch family. As a child, not having a mother or father for years, and we don't know exactly when I was abandoned, and it does kind of work on you in a little bit in your psyche when you know you are an abandoned child. When I think of the role of what Jesus plays in my life, it truly, for me, reflects almost literally the poem of Footsteps in the Sand. From the time that I was born to now, it is very evident that Christ was always there. Without a question, without even a doubt, he was always, always there. I believe when someone who is in need of something, it could be love, it could be socks, it could be grace, it can be forgiveness, and when a warm heart comes along and offers it, it means you're worthy of those things. It means you're worthy of grace. You're worthy of love. You're worthy of forgiveness. The importance of organizations that reach out and build these homes of opportunity or offer food and nutrition, you got to have these things in your community, because if you don't, I believe a community can become very apathetic. It's important for us to know that there is a way for us to help. I mean, we all eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Most of us are blessed to be able to have that. If you can feed someone who typically doesn't get that, what you're telling that person is, again, your life is worth extending. If you keep that away from somebody, you can tell someone subconsciously, you're not worth living. And I believe if you can give thousands of meals to hundreds of families, you're telling hundreds and thousands of people, your life is worth living. It is worth living. And today, your stomach will be full. If we don't do that, what is the messaging? A lot of times we ask, what is the messaging when you do it? I'm like, what's the messaging when you don't do it? What is the messaging to the people and the families of Denver if we did not feed them? What would that messaging be?